Alright, so we are back for, I guess we'll go more into an intro here on who I am, and what the purpose of all this content is here. So I'm going to give you a little bit of background about myself, where I'm coming from, and how I got into real estate within the past little bit here. And by all means, I'm not successful in this industry yet. I've invested a good lump sum, once again, this is just the beginning of the journey. So you guys are going to be seeing what I'm doing as I'm doing it. In fact, there's going to be probably a bunch of videos just going out for the first week or 2 weeks here, until we can get all that content that I already have, that I just haven't uploaded yet. And as I'm saying this on August 29th. So yeah, so a little bit about me. I graduated from high school in 2022. So I've been out of school for 2 years, well, 2.5 now. Not even. But I was very fortunate to have an opportunity to go work in the IT industry as I got out of school. So like a week after I graduated, I had a full-time job working for a managed service provider. It was a great opportunity, and it was a great job. I enjoyed working that job. I enjoyed most of the people I worked with, but ultimately, I was like, I started thinking as I matured, I was thinking bigger picture, and I was like, am I going to be working here in the next 5 years? Am I going to be making the amount of money I want to make in the next 5 years working here? And I started thinking this more towards the 1.5 mark, 2-year mark, and being in that culture for so long that it ultimately just wasn't a great fit for me. Like, mornings I would dread going into work, and I'm like, why am I dreading going into work? I used to love it here, and ultimately the culture, which was always the same, it just more reconciled me where it's not a place I want to be. When I looked at the bigger picture and I was like, is this where I want to be? So it came up and I'm like, where do I want to be? And I've seen my dad be a real estate agent, the real estate agent that sold us our house when I was younger. He was great, and I was like, this all relates back to sales. So I started looking more into sales, started working on sales stuff in that IT spot, and it was fun. I enjoyed going to do sales meetings and just talking with people on what we can do to help them and what the solution would be for a problem that they are facing or could be in the future, because we've seen this and it's starting to happen more. Here's what we want to do to be proactive, and I love doing that. And then I got my hands on this book here, Sell It Like Serhant, Ryan Serhant, real estate broker in New York City, and that changed my perspective. So I was like, all right, how can I get started in sales? And scrolling on Indeed, I found a company that was an ICD, so an independent corporate distributor. So they were pretty much a subcontractor for larger companies, selling what they needed. And what it does is it saves the corporate company money because they're not paying someone hourly to sell it, and we were just on straight commission. So we only got our commission. That was our check. So if we wanted to have a big check, we better get out there and start selling, you know? So that, I enjoyed that job. I was promoting quickly. I had a large team scale up, and then come to find out, hey, the office is closing. And we were like, what are we gonna do? We were told that the office is gonna be shut down. The guy running the place didn't have any answers. So then we were like, what are we gonna do? We were just out in the wind. And this was a month after working there, and we just got the call saying, hey, we're done. So we were we didn't know what we were going to do. So what ended up happening is we found another client to go with. So we went down to Florida for a month, worked with that client, and that was a fun experience too. But ultimately, there wasn't a strong leadership. The leader of the new incorporation didn't know what he was doing, and I don't blame him for it. Although I kind of do, because if you're in that spot, you need to have all the answers for your guys, because they're looking up to you, because it's your business. So I saw that, and then we were told we're going to be moving to a different major city. Didn't move to that major city, and before any of that could happen, I'm like, hey man, I'm out. And then at the office space where we were working, I was fortunate enough to have a small little internship there for a little bit, so able to make some income during that. And then I met a pretty impactful guy to me, and I knew about the real estate business. I knew a little bit about wholesaling, fix and flips, yada yada yada, just from what I've seen, what I've heard other people talk about. And this guy put it more into perspective for me. Like, he gave me tools, he gave me stuff I needed to get started in the business, and I was like, shoot, okay, this guy is sticking his neck out for me to help me. And that's what really shifted me more towards real estate. Like, I've always wanted to do real estate, and I didn't just want to be an agent, because that's just transacting real estate. Like, I wanted to hold real estate, because it's like one of the best investments you can make. It's pretty much always going to appreciate unless it gets destroyed, or the market just collapses out of nowhere like it did in 08. I was 4 at the time. But besides the point, real estate is like the number one wealth building tool. So I wanted to get started. I wanted to get my hands on it. You know, the younger the better. The more time you have doing it, the better. So I was like, let's do it. Let's go. We worked on a handful of social media projects together to try to grow a project that he has. And we went from there. Also, while we were doing this, I had a technology company that I was trying to grow. I didn't really know what the purpose was of it, but we were doing some sales with a client, which fell through. And that's when I was working in real estate. And that's pretty much how I got further into the business. I learned more, and it was fun. I enjoyed doing it. I enjoyed doing the cold calling, looking for properties. Still no deal, but that was what I wanted to live, so I wanted to make it happen. Then within the next couple of weeks, still cold calling, you know, people that could be facing foreclosure, pre-foreclosure, tax delinquencies, yada yada yada, just looking for that first deal. And then this was pretty transforming for me too. We went down to the beach for a week with some of the family that we have up in New York, and my dad and I were hanging out in a coffee shop, talking with the guy that we seen the whole week we were there. So we were talking with him, and he's like, so what do you guys do? I'm like, oh, he works at BMW, and he works for them. And he's like, all right, what do you do? I'm like, that's a great question, you know? And I'm like, I do real estate investment. But I haven't had any success in real estate investment. So how can I say I do real estate investment when I don't? And what that did is that put me in a spot where I'm not going to be a liar. I'm going to do this. We're going all in. We're going to do it. So later within that week, I found an inbound marketing agency that is helping me currently to do my inbound marketing for my leads. So far, I've been with them for about 2.5 weeks. We've got probably 20 leads come in. No deals with them yet, but the ads are still optimizing and everything. But we'll see how that rolls out here. And it wasn't a sales pitch when I was talking with the guy. I was like, sign me up, let's go. And we got all that situated, and that kind of leads into week 1. So we'll that kind of wraps up this video here, guys. Thank you for watching and sticking to the end. We'll have week 1 probably coming out within the next couple of days here, and then we'll see you in the next one. I appreciate you sticking along, and yeah, we'll see you.